Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I've been trying to figure out exactly how to word this because I don't want to offend anyone. Guys, my channel is not to offend anybody, any parent, okay? And also, I understand that there are times where there may be extenuating circumstances, where you may need more than the average amount of assistance required of your children based on your situation, based on your surrounding, based on where you are. This may not apply to everybody, okay? For example, there are some countries, basically I'm going to be talking about parenting. So basically, for example, there are some countries where they are very, 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 very poor, right? And of course, they have a child and they may have need of, the child may have to do things that normally they would not have to do. Such they may have to work harder than your average child would based on their environment and their surroundings. Guys, I'm not talking about this because everything does not apply to everyone. But as I get further into what I'm going to talk about today, I think that you'll understand what I'm saying. This applies for parents that really can make necessary adjustments, but they just don't want to. They are well able-bodied. They are not in extenuating circumstances, which causes them to have to make some tough choices as a parent. May need may need some labor from their children, if I want to call it labor, because they are just in a catch-22, and we don't have any other options. Okay, this is not for that demographic. But what is on my mind, guys, is to tell parents, okay, that your children are not your living nanny. They're not the living nanny. They're not the living housekeeper. Okay. When God blesses our womb, these children are gifts. The word of God says children are a gift from God. They're rewards from God. Happy is the man whose quiver is filled with them. And so when children come into the world, they're often mistreated, of course, in the wrong hands. And sometimes we may say, well, God, why did you even allow certain people to have kids? I have said that before, especially when I read about people that abuse their children. But guys, we don't know. I've yet to get an answer, but God is God, right? I can't begin to figure that out. But guys, let me explain something to you. There are people who you have children and you are mistreating them. I've done videos about this. And guys, this is saved people. People who say that they're saved, that know God, that's doing this. Now, if someone's unsaved, I'll speak the same thing to you as well. But people who say that they're Christians are supposed to know better. Supposed to know better. And then you have options, you have choices. You're not in extenuating circumstances, but you have a mindset on how you think children should be treated. This can be based on how you were treated, what you saw coming up, or what you've always believed. But I'm here to talk to you today because God sees that. Children are souls. Your children are souls. And oftentimes you find parents who are successful in the world. They are successful in the churches. There are successful youth pastors. They're mentored. They're looked up to. They are mentors and they are looked up to by other people's kids. But at home, there's something totally different. Because you're one way out there, but you're another way at home. So parents, here's a few things that the Lord has placed on my heart. Number one, when you have children, you don't have children. Children are not cattle. You're not breeding and having children so you can set them out to pasture, so to speak. You set them out there so they can do everything that you don't feel like doing anymore. So you have children, you don't need to wash dishes anymore. You have children, you don't have to clean anymore. You have children, you don't have to do certain things anymore. Granted, children do need to learn about responsibilities, how to take care of themselves, how to clean up. Yes. But oftentimes what's happening is that this stuff is just completely laid on the kids. That means mom and dad don't cook or clean anymore. It's all on the kids. Or for the most part during the week, the older sibling or someone is doing most of the cooking, and then mom or dad, whatever the circumstances may be, may, do maybe the major cooking on Sundays or something like that, if that. But guys, there's a frustration that I'm here to tell you that's going on in the minds of your children, your older children. When you as a mother or you as a parent, whatever role you're in, you're putting everything off on them while you sleep in. You're putting everything off on them while you're on the phone sitting around. You're putting everything off on them while you're going out. You're putting everything off on that older sibling while you're doing the things that you need to do. But I'm here to tell you, your youth has come and gone. And as parents, we cannot rob our children of their youth because you still want to be a child. Or because you still want to catch up. You want to do the things that you did not get to do. Parents, I'm here to tell you, maybe you cannot go to school full time. If you have to sacrifice your children for it. If you have to be leaving them with other people all the time so you can go to school. If you have to put the responsibilities on your son and your daughter, the older ones, to take care of the kids because you're going to school full time, I'm here to tell you, you are wrong for that. Part-time may take longer, guys, but when you have children and you didn't get to go to college, you still have to consider your children. Your son and your daughter should not lose their youth. And it's not about, I'm trying to do this for them. When you're trying to do things for them, you got to experience a sacrifice, not them. And because you're doing it for them, does not mean, oh, that's the least you can do. No, that's what you're supposed to do as a parent, mom or dad. Our children don't owe us anything. If we take this mindset out that they owe us something, then you won't have this quid pro quo attitude or this sense of entitlement because you are children. They are gifts. They're gifts. We're here to be parents to them, to raise them up, to set an example that they can follow. And if all they're getting is they're being house slaves and they just in the house have to do everything, it's always tension. You come home, you're complaining about something. You feel like the younger one can be disrespectful to the older and the older needs to shut up because this is the baby. No, everyone needs to be taught. The word of God says that we're supposed to raise up our children in the admonition and the nurturing of God. So if you don't understand certain things about parenting and you've never had it, and perhaps what you got was the wrong upbringing coming up. And sometimes in your own mind, you'll think, well, at least I'm not doing them like I got done. But you're the only point of reference that they have and they know, guys. So to them, it's horrifying. Just like whatever you may have experienced at the hand of your parents, if you experience anything like that, in your parents' mind, they may feel that they're not doing you as badly as their parents did to them. But if you think about it, to you, it was terrible. So we have got to get to a place, guys, where you are asking the Lord to teach you how to be a parent, which is raising up your children in the upbringing of the Lord, in the bringing your children up in the admonition and nurturing, teaching them about the Lord, teaching them about respect, listening to what they have to say. Not that your kids are going to disrespect you, but listening. When's the last time, guys, you listened to your children? When was the last time in all the years that your children have been alive that you have apologized to them and said you were sorry? When's the last time you said this, I was wrong for that, and not yell it out and not act all flippant about it and blow it off? If the type of environment that they grow up in is a type of relationship that they're going to look for later on, and you're going to find that they can't wait to get away from you. It shouldn't be that when you come home, everybody's scattering because you're going to come in and find something to complain about, find something to blow up about, and everyone is happy when you leave. And what's worse, parents, is that some of you are wishing that you were dead because you bring so much unhappiness. There's some children who during this COVID-19 are hating life because they will almost rather go out there and catch this disease than being in the house with you all the time. There's a lot of wounds and a lot of pain that's there, guys. And there's a lot of pent up anger and rage among your children. Your oldest is frustrated because they're doing everything. There's maybe what you call the middle child, which is not. This your second child may feel very neglected. They may feel upset. The older might be frustrated because you let the younger ones get away with everything. The older might be frustrated because you call them anytime the baby needs something. You're calling her to do it. You're calling him to get what the baby needs. Get this, get that, do this, change them, bathe them, do everything. You're calling them for everything. And that child is getting angry. Another thing that the Lord has shown me is that once your kids start working, you already have your tentacles in their pockets. Your kids are not learning to save. You're not showing them how to do that. You're already telling them what they need to be paying for. They need to now start paying the cable bill. They need to start paying this. My brothers and sisters, I'm here to tell you, unless you are poverty ridden, if you can go get your nails done, they don't have to pay the cable. If you can go get your hair cut every week, they shouldn't be paying no cable. There's certain things that we are supposed to be doing as parents. Again, there are extenuating circumstances behind this, but your children cannot even enjoy accomplishment in saving anything because you are going to them and telling them, making them feel like they owe you because you've provided for them and they need to give you money. No, that's extortion. As a parent, we should be in a place where our kids don't have to give us anything for them to survive and live. Now we know that if your kids are grown up and they still live at home and they're adults, of course, everyone comes together to help one another. But I'm talking about this thing where you're almost being threatening, you're guilting your children. And if they're working, you want to know what they made and you're already kind of divvying up their money for yourself. My brothers and sisters, this is wrong. As parents, we teach our children how to save, how to set money aside, how to manage their money, how to open an account. And you teach them about giving and let the Lord deal with them about giving. Now, sometimes you have kids that's just selfish. But even then, your responsibility is to still be a parent. Not say, oh, well, I'm going, no. No. You teach your children. You raise them up in the way that they can go. And that's in you giving. Your role as a parent is to give. Your role as a parent is to be the bigger person. Your role as a parent is to be the provider. We are the provider, guys. Whatever choices we made coming up and whatever things we didn't get done, you have to be mindful that now it's your child's turn. So if you didn't go to college at the time that you were supposed to, and you had children first, right? Okay, things happen. But you can't totally use your time and now you're infringing on them for them to do everything so you can still be the college graduate. And yes, you have dreams and there are things that you want to do for your family. But guys, remember this. It should not be at the... Whatever you are trying to accomplish, you should not be neglecting. You should not be just overlooking. You should not be stepping on others to get it. And that includes your children. And you have to realize that your children are souls, guys. Your children are souls too. You'll say that you're a child of God, but you act totally different. And you're hurting your children and you're saying insulting things to them and you're guilting them and you're taking their money and they're frustrated because they don't have anywhere to go. They don't know how to take care of themselves yet. Any little thing they get, they can't enjoy it because you want it. You're taking it. And if they don't give you this money, then you're going to threaten them with what they're not going to get. And overall, they still need you. Mom and dads, go before the Lord. Those of you that say you know God, then this should be an area in which you should be already convicted. Your children are citizens. They are people, they're adults that will grow up and they will want to have a desire to look out for you the same way you looked out for them. Too often parents are thinking because they have the children, there's this entitled spirit. No, they are here not by your will, but God made it possible. And when God placed them in your hand, it's for you and I to raise them up his way. Now, you may have made some mistakes and you can ask the Lord to forgive you. It does not mean your children override you and they disrespect you, because a part of parenting is to raise them up where they are respectful. If you don't raise your children right, they become society's problem. And we have a judicial system that's set up to put them away and put them in timeout. That's 18 to 20 years or a life sentence. And that's not what we want. But guys, I'm here to speak to you, letting you know your children are frustrated. And too often many parents are not seeing their children as individuals and people that can speak to them. They can say what they feel without being disrespectful. They can really share their heart. They can share their frustration, and you're not overriding them. Too often parents are carrying an entitled spirit. You feel like I carried you for 9 months, but no, you did no such thing. God carried them. So often parents are saying, I could have aborted you. No, ma'am, no, sir. You could not have aborted them, because if it's in your mind to say that, you would have done it. It's just that God allowed you not to go over into that malignant mindset you have to be able to say that out of your mouth. It's a wicked statement to make. So God brought them here, and he kept you from going into that base action of doing certain things that you can do. So we are going to be held accountable when we stand before God about our children and what we have done and how we have raised them. Because I'm here to tell you, some of what we would call menace to societies are a result of the negligence or the abuse of parents. And so the child is now angry and they become a problem. That child is still responsible for their actions, yes, but it begins with parenting, guys. Take an inventory of your household. Don't try to say, oh, are you mad at me about something? No, because children are not going to tell you that. But we must have discernment. We must have prayer. We must uplift our children to the Lord. And guys, when you are a parent, you are expected to do everything. We are the ones that's supposed to do most of the stuff. Our children, they follow and we teach them little things. They supplement. But we're in the driver's seat to take care of the children, to get up and cook, to get up and clean, to take care of that baby that you chose to have. Stop putting the responsibility on your children. Stop leaving your children alone so you can still go out and do what you want to do. Life's priorities change, guys, once you have these children. Because if you neglect them now, don't be surprised when they're neglecting you later. Don't get your feelings hurt when they don't want to have anything to do with you, because you've done that to them as the parent. But what kicks in a lot, guys, is the entitled spirit. I had you. No, God allowed you to give birth to the child, and you have a responsibility. I'm not saying that children are supposed to disrespect their parents. No, they're still supposed to honor you. But sometimes you'll find that children, when you have done them wrong and you've done them wrong from they were kids and teenagers and growing up, they can still honor you, guys, but they can honor you from a distance. Don't be the parent that, oh, I was trying to do everything and give you everything, but all they needed was you. They needed your time. They needed your ear. They needed you to be the parent and allow them to be a child. Allow them to be a teenager. Of course, not wild and doing crazy stuff. But guys, the frustration in many homes today is that you are taking your child's youth. You're taking your child's peace. And this is often overlooked because, oh, you're in church raising your hand and your kids are just angry at you. Ask the Lord to deal with your family, because guys, ministry begins at home. Our family is very important. And when you're expecting, when you stand before God, that you think he's going to ask you about what wonderful things you did in church, he'll ask you about your child's soul, how you treated them, how you dealt with them. the fruits of the Spirit that you showed to them or that you kept from them? Were you mostly in your flesh with your kids, or are you walking in the fruit of the Spirit? Can you ask them to forgive you when you've done wrong? Can you hear them out? Get up out the bed, guys. You're a parent. You're a mother. You're a father. You have a family. This is your responsibility to stand in the gap and to make this stuff possible. Parenting is not their job. It's yours. It's ours. Okay, guys? Pray about this.